Good morning. The title for today is 2012, When the Scoffers Stop Scoffing. And the little blurb that I wrote over half an hour ago now, because I've been up since a little after 3 o'clock. Humans are trained to be skeptical. Rather than encouraging a sense of awe and wonder regarding things we do not know, which is the natural mind of a child, we are duped by those that came before us to ridicule ideas and possibilities outside the accepted paradigm. Yes, it can be seen as a form of mind control that keeps us in the box of so-called conventional wisdom. We scoff and belittle those that have perceptions that the majority still cannot see and therefore understand. It's highly probable that we will reach a tipping point this year that will vastly increase our ability to perceive more than ever before. It was Bill Ballard's, one of my friends on Facebook. It was his story that I read last night that came to me in the meditation this morning and precipitated this title and the subject for today. He was one of the only people that was enlightened, or seemed to himself to be, many years ago, as he tried to tell people what he saw, the vision that he saw. And visionaries are probably among in the forefront of those that are scoffed at. People that see things before other people see them. I've been there, done that. It's happened all of my life. When I come upon something that is not an accepted idea, and I try to convey that to others, I have been scoffed. Bill has been scoffed. Every one of us that has discovered, quote, a new truth. Not that it's new, but it's new to us. And we get really excited about it, and we want other people to see what we see because it gave us individually a breakthrough of some sort. A breakthrough in our mind, an opening of our heart, some type of an aha moment. And we tried to share it with other people. And we found that the other people would simply scoff at us. I mean, we would be either politely or sometimes not so politely ridiculed for having such a crazy idea. But that is not the normal state of a human being. If you've watched children, I'm talking about preschool children, you know that they are like sponges. They are able to absorb whatever information you put in, and garbage in, garbage out. And since we've been all fed with garbage most of our lives, we put garbage into our children. We don't mean to. We're trying to impart to them the wisdom that we've gained by learning, but it's not wisdom. It's actually a shutdown of our heart and a shutdown of our mind. We've been trained to shrink ourselves into manageable parameters, manageable for the society in which we are born. We've all gone through it. I'm not attacking anybody because I've been there, done that. I remember when I first came across the idea of how money works, I thought it was the most stupid thing I ever heard. I mean, how can that be that the banks don't really lend people money? How can that possibly be? They give you a check or they give you credit. How can it be that they're not really giving you anything at all? Well, as I looked at, I at least had an open mind enough to be willing to pursue it further and look deeper. Some people don't have that yet. Some people are not willing to go there yet. But I was, and I explored deeper and deeper, and I realized that the reason it was so hard for me to believe it is because I didn't believe that I was rich. I I had a label that I had put on myself that, Ron, you're poor. You don't have any money. You're poor. And you've got to go to those that have money to get money. I didn't know that the people that are really at the top of the pile, that seem to be the ones that have the money, they know that I'm rich. They know that I'm rich. And they know how to tap into that riches because a system has been created that gives certain individuals, leaders, authorities, power of attorney and control over those that don't know who they are, that don't know they're rich and powerful, which we all are, by the way, but we don't know that. And I can tell you that right now, and you can be struggling from paycheck to paycheck, or maybe not even be getting a paycheck and be homeless, or I doubt you're homeless if you're listening to this, but you could be. You could be in a library somewhere doing research and being online. But in any case, you have the idea that, no, look at my condition. Look at where I am. I'm obviously not rich. But the people that know what's inside of you. And they're scared to death that you're going to find out what's inside of you. Because when you find out that you're rich and that they've been taking your riches because you didn't even know you had them, aha, the game is over. End game. Oops. When the scoffers stop scoffing at ideas of how the system works, I'm telling you folks, virtually everything we have been told in our whole entire lives as fact is nothing but a lie. It is fiction, pure and simple. Just the way it is. And yet, when we see that and we start telling people, they look at us like we're crazy, like we're nuts. It happened to me yesterday. Before the Mystics in Training class even began, somebody mentioned something about somebody driving without a driver's license. I can't even remember what triggered it, but I piped in, I've been driving without a driver's license for over a year, and I'm driving without a registered vehicle. I'm driving in an unregistered vehicle. And the question was asked, and there were quite a few of us there. It was not very long before we were ready to start, so there were people there. We know enough to get there early because we want to get a seat, because it's usually pretty crowded, and sometimes it overflows beyond the circle because we can't fit people in the circle anymore. So we have to start a second circle, which never completes, of course. But anyway, people said, you're driving without a driver's license and a registration? And I said, yeah, for over a year without a license, and since October without a registration. Why? I was asked. And I says, because when you register your vehicle or your property or your children with the state owns that. Now, of course, this was an idea that was totally foreign to virtually everyone that was there besides me. And I was scoffed at. Now, they didn't pursue it. I wasn't ridiculed because I'm highly respected in that group. They might think I'm a little bit off on some of my ideas, but I'm highly respected, and I know that, and I feel that. And somebody said something actually during the Mystics in Training thing, which is mostly a discussion group, by the way. It's not like we're following some course to become mystics. It's that we share our experiences in our lives honestly with each other. That's intimacy, you know what I mean? When you do that, be honest with other people. Anyway, it came up again, and Ron Fox, the minister of the Science of Mind Church, who is not a believer in lots of the far out things that I believe, he's very mainstream when it comes to much of what he believes. I mean, I've talked to him personally, and I know he doesn't buy into the 9/11 or any of the conspiracy stuff. He's not into it. He's very, very, very much mainstream, and that's okay. It's okay. Most people are still there. I mean, I like for people to wake up, but they don't. But anyway, he said, "Oh, let's not go there. Let's not go there." When something was brought up that might lead into that discussion, because it's uncomfortable for people that don't see to be presented with ideas that they don't want to believe. Now, that's just the way it is. I mean, I wish it wasn't. It makes it very uncomfortable for people that are visionaries and people that are on the cutting edge of what's happening. And what's happening in 2012 is that more and more people, there's an exponential curve going on. It's going virtually straight up as more and more people become aware of the lie, which is what we have to become aware of. We have to become aware of how we got where we are. We first have to admit where we are, feeling powerless, feeling unworthy, feeling not good enough, feeling poor, feeling what all the negative feelings that we feel, feeling fearful. We have to admit, hey, this is where I am. This is the state, my state of mind. These are the feelings that I'm actually feeling. We have to get to that point where we recognize and honor where we are. We have to say, hey, yeah, I am there. And that begins by owning where we are. Whatever it is, we are at the point of the child's mind or the beginner's mind, where we finally get to where we're willing to open. Well, that opening is happening all over the planet right now, which is why I said we're going to reach a tipping point this year. Something's going to happen that's going to enable us to see what we haven't been able to see before, and hear what we haven't been able to hear before, and to know truth that we weren't able to know before. We're going to come into the mystical experience of actually knowing, not believing stuff, but knowing it for ourselves, like contact with extraterrestrials, perhaps. And the fact that we've never been alone. I mean, the elite know that there are extraterrestrial activities that have been going on for a long time. They've been working with extraterrestrials at levels of the government. Will they admit it? No. Because why won't they admit it? Because if the population realized that we can all have access to that unseen world that is unseen to most of us, we can have access to that and derive knowledge that will liberate us. And when people get liberated, the controllers can no longer control them. Us. Can you get that? Can you understand that? So there are a lot of things that are being revealed now, and a lot of people that are on the cutting edge already know these things. They already know them. But there's a tremendous resistance still on the part of the people that don't know, because they don't want to admit, well, I was duped. I'm stupid. I'm ignorant. They don't want to admit that that's where they are. They don't want to go back to the childlike mind that is just innocent and open and will receive whatever it's told. Now, if I told you you have all the wealth that you could ever imagine, most of you, many people on earth hearing that would say, you're crazy. You're crazy. I'm one of the 99%. I'm one of the poor people. And if I told you you had power, that you could move mountains and change circumstances, you'd say, Ron, look at me. I'm weak. I'm just a poor, pitiful me. Oh, have mercy on me. And you might mouth some of the rhetoric that you've been taught, that only God is powerful. Humans are poor, pitiful beings. Humans can't do anything. They're just weaklings. Only God can do those things. And I had somebody recently write along that same line to remind me that only God can make the changes that are necessary. You can't trust people. I don't trust people because people are scoffers. but I trust what's in people, and that is God. God is in each one of us. God is in you. God is in me. And we're going to know that. We're going to know, many of us, enough of us to turn the whole thing around this year. We're going to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that we are infinite and eternal beings, that we are powerful, that we are wealthy beyond our comprehension. Everything is going to be turned on its head, inside out and upside down. This year, it's happening, and it's an exponential curve that is unstoppable. That is the timeline of the awakening. That is the ascension. As we remember who we are, we awaken, and we become what we've always been able to be, except it wasn't time yet to be all that we are. And all that we are is all that is, and all it is what we term God. It is the creator of everything that is seen, but it is created always from ideas that are first unseen and misunderstood and scoffed at and ridiculed. But the awakening is upon us, and we're moving into a new dimension, a new reality that will shift everything. This is the shift of the ages. This is the time we've long awaited, and we are the ones we've been waiting for. Thank you for listening today. Namaste. Namaste.